Do you want to simplify your parenting routine? I'm here to share the top 5 essential items that you can get that's gonna make your life so much easier. You know, when we get into Amazon and we do that endless scrolling and we just can't decide what we're gonna get and what would be the best purchase, and we go through all the reviews, making sure there's nothing too negative attached to it, trying to guess if our kids are gonna actually enjoy it in the long run, or if it's gonna be just another toy they get and then they just shove it aside after a week. But I'm here to share my experience with the best products that I found that has simplified my life and my everyday routine with them, especially during winter time when, as you know, if you live in Canada, you know how it is. The playgrounds freeze up and there's nowhere to go but like stay home or go to the library or do something that requires taking the bus in the middle of the snow or taking your car. You have to shovel snow off of your car. So sometimes it's just easier to stay home. But how do we keep our kids entertained, well entertained at home, and help them with their boredom if they get too bored? The product links are going to be down in the description below if you're interested in checking them out, and let's dive in. So out of the 5 must-haves on the list, the last 2 are actually more for parents than for kids, but it's going to alleviate the pressure and the stress of having to constantly be cleaning up after them. Make sure you stick around until the end because it's really going to save you a lot of time and stress when it comes to facilitating and making your life so much easier. So number 1 on the list, indoor slide. Well, if we can't bring the kids to the playground, we just bring the playground to the kids. And it's actually been such a huge game changer in my life as a mom, especially at winter time. Because when it's raining and it's icy cold outside and they are begging to go to the park and they want to slide, you have an alternative right in your home. How this works is you can install the slide just about in any place that has like good support, let's say on your bed or on your sofa. Of course, safety first, make sure that your kids, depending on their age, because this is the kind of slide that's good for kids between 2 to 6, let's say. And my kids just can't get enough of it. Honestly, I never imagined that this purchase would keep them entertained for so long. It's been over a year now, and it's still going strong. Very sturdy, very smooth slide. It's not the kind of slide that they get kind of stuck on it. I would say it's definitely one of the top favorite toys I've got on Amazon for my kids. Just a safety alert, especially if you're going to install the slide on a spot that there is nothing that the kid can fall back on. Just be careful with that because I wouldn't recommend installing right in the middle of the sofa. I would recommend installing in either of the corners, because if by any chance they lose their balance and they fall off to one side, at least one side is going to be cushioned, especially if your kid is very young. My kids are almost 4. They got very good at keeping their balance. But if your kid is younger than 3, I would recommend you putting like a maybe a mattress on the floor next to the slide on both sides, or cushions on both sides, just to make sure that just in case they do lose their balance, they're going to have a soft landing. Another safety thing that you should be prepared for is, as all parents know, kids love doing the inverse, which is climbing up the slide instead of just sliding on the slide. So make sure that you're always around when they try to do that, because accidents can happen and it's not exactly the safest way to be utilizing that kind of toy. I wouldn't recommend it, but if they're doing it, just make sure that you're next to them just in case they lose their balance. Number 2, Mini Man magnets. I know that fridge magnets are very popular with kids, but this particular magnet is just, it tops off all the other kind of magnets, honestly. It's the cutest little thing and it's so versatile. They can play with it in so many different ways. My kids love throwing it up in the air. They love throwing it on anything that sticks, that's magnetic. You can glue it anywhere that's made of metal, obviously, and they can like twist it in ways that, the mini men's are holding hands or like dancing in circles. It's like the kind of toy that really sparks up their imagination and their creativity. I'm even thinking about purchasing a second set of mini men. Just be aware it's a kind of toy that's very easy to lose because they're kind of small, and it's actually very easy to step on it. So just be aware of that when you're waking up in the morning with all the mini men spread out in the house. I've stepped on a few barefoot and it's not a pleasant experience. But other than that, they are going to have so much fun. It's even kind of a distraction when they're having dinner because they keep wanting to grab the mini men. So I would recommend maybe I should do that too, just to get them through dinner. Put away the mini men while they're having dinner so they don't see it in front of them on the fridge, and just take it back out when they're done with dinner. It's all year round fun. Number 3 is the play kitchen. And this particular one is very compact. It's easy to fit anywhere. It actually, when I bought it, I thought it would be a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, but nevertheless, if your kid is between the ages of 1 to 4 years old, it's going to work great for him or for her. And it comes with so many appliances. It's crazy to see how such a small, compact kitchen can come with so many appliances like dishwasher, microwave, an oven, the stove, the sink, little compartments and cabinets. In my case, I bought it for my daughter and she loves pink. It's her favorite color. So she's like obsessed with it. She likes to do the dishes in it. She likes to cook and likes to make breakfast in the morning for us. It really gets her creativity going. And my son loves it too, but his interest is more in like playing soccer and shooting hoops. So it didn't, like, his interest in it didn't last very long, but they did fight over it. So if you have twins or kids that are around the same age, just be advised. They're probably going to fight over it. It encourages them to learn early on in their lives house chores, because that's always a good thing, even if it's in the smallest ways. But having a play kitchen really gets them going into this imaginary life of taking care of a kitchen and cooking and cleaning and doing the dishes. So they grow up and learn that's how we help around the house, and it's a way for them to practice that. Number 4 is kids' bookshelf. Aside from being like super compact that you can just stick it on the wall, and it doesn't take a lot of space either. That's the best part, because why would we want some bulky shelf to just shove all the toys in there and not be able to find anything afterwards? So this, like, it has like several sleeves where you could just stick the book there and the kids will actually be able to easily pick a book out of the shelf without having to go through an entire pile of books. And it's so much easier to just grab and go. And it's something that I've been doing every night with my kids, bedtime stories. So all I do is I tell my kids, okay, go to the shelf and grab a book. And they can easily see the title of the book. It shows like the top part of the book, so it's very easy for them to identify which book they're picking out instead of like shoveling, like throwing everything out. Of course, if your kid is younger than 3, I'm guessing that he or she is going to do that anyway. He's going to pull everything out. But with time, just stay strong, because after 3, things actually get a little bit easier. They have a better discernment of how they're supposed to keep things neat and tidy. So what I do is we read a book. So when we're finished with the bedtime story, I just tell them to put it back in the shelf, and it's very easy for them to reach because it's very low and it's perfect height for toddlers. And number 5 is the toy bins. And this particular toy bin, I found it's like the perfect size because I think it comes with 6 little toy bins. It's a very easy way to encourage our toddlers to clean up after themselves because it's something, again, their height, easy for them to just pop things in. So whenever we're doing cleanup, we even have a cleanup song. So we do the cleanup song and they put everything, all the small little pieces. And if you want, you can actually categorize the toys. But truth be told, in practice, that's not something that is actually sustainable because I try to do that. Like, hey, one bin just for like the stuffed animals, another bin just for the Legos. But at the end of the day, guess what happens? Everything gets mixed up because when they're cleaning up, they're still young. They don't know anything about categorizing. So they just shove everything in there and then it gets all mixed up again. And then the next day you're back to trying to categorize. I just want you to save your energy because that consumed a lot of energy out of me. Just trying to be to every day be constantly worried about sorting out the toys in categories. So yeah, it does help because it makes it easier for you to find stuff. But at the same time, because these bins are open bins, they're not like baskets that you shove in a little slot. You can't actually see what's inside until you pull it out. Because they're open bins, it makes it a lot easier for you to spot what you're looking for just from the outside. So in any case, categorizing or not, it's going to help you find what you're looking for a lot faster than shoving everything in those big, Amazon boxes. That's what I used to have before I purchased this. It was like those big old boxes that you weren't using anymore. I would just shove everything in there and then it would be so chaotic just trying to find what you're looking for. You would have to pull everything out and then it would be like at the bottom of the box. So yeah, I do not recommend using just regular boxes because of that. It's just going to make your life that much harder. So these are the 5 items that actually made my life so much easier with my twin toddlers. I hope you find it useful somehow, and I'll see you next time.